they don't want to teach. They want to teach somebody enough to get their money, but but keep them around enough to need them to not come around them, and then they get jealous of the people who come around them, and then start looking at them as a threat. And a lot of that got to do with lack of coaching too. But what I realized is, instead of having that mentality, the moment that I teach you at this level, I got an obligation to move a level up. Now it's going to force me to be creative, because now you got to realize, in order for me to move level up where I'm at, I got to automatically solve the problems that I'm having that's stopping me from growing. Now, the faster I can get somebody trained, right, and the faster I can get somebody ready to come around me here, hopefully they do come around me, then I can start focusing on the solutions that that I already know that they're going to have, right? And what starts to happen there is, let's say, for instance, you going out here, you're the king of VAs, and then, and we love Brittany. You get what I'm saying? Brittany comes in, she's killing it. A weak coach is going to be like, man, what Brittany doing? She competing with me. Instead of saying, no, let's give Brittany as many tools as she needs to be able to grow with. And then now, I'm going to be learning stuff that she's doing, hiccups that she has, and then now I can be able to support her with. And then also, what a lot of people don't even understand is, like, now you're focusing on like the equity side and building these solutions out, and then making sure that you come on the board. And I think that's creative too, because people need that. And I think it's a big disconnect out here with most people going out of business because they start coaching early before they start mastering what they're actually doing. So I commend you for like waiting to coach, because what starts to happen there is people start building their business. It's growing a little bit, but they need more money. And so now they, instead of growing their business and focusing on that, they go and start grabbing the people who want to get in the business and say, hey, let me coach you. Now what starts to happen is you start coaching. Those people need a lot of one-on-one help. They got questions and they trying to grow, they trying to build. And I noticed that a lot of coaches, when that happens, they stop learning, because now they position themselves as coach, and they automatically, when people say coach, they automatically think they got to have all the answers. And now they're embarrassed to go actually learn from somebody else, because now they're going to put themselves on a pedestal. And then now they learning blocks. They can't bring no more energy back to the business that they was trying to grow. Everybody naturally going to come around them in business anyway. And then now guess what starts to happen? They forget that you actually was dominating the industry and start calling you a dancing bear. And like, I got called a dancing bear in the credit industry. They was like, bro, how in the world you training people on credit and you ain't even got no credit repair company? I'm like, bro, when you make $20 million in this credit repair industry from a credit repair company, that's the last thing that you're really thinking about growing when you got other stuff to do. But what I realized, though, is I dominated that lane before I started coaching. But think about how many people do it the other way. Yep. 90% of the people who jump out there and start coaching early start messing up, and don't grow the company that they was actually growing. And now when people ain't got the money from coaching because the pandemic over and they ain't got time, guess what? You got to start back over. So, I love the plays, and I wanted to give you your flowers about running the plays. I supposed to be giving you a plaque too at the workshop, but they didn't come back in time. So I definitely got to give you that. So just, man, shout out and salute. I love the new moves. So what would you give to somebody, man, who's out here trying to like figure it out right now, don't really know what they want to do? Because there's a lot of people on here that's still trying to figure it out, hope that they'll hear something one day that's going to stick with them. What are some things that they can be using a VA to do if they don't have a business right now?
So if you don't necessarily have a business right now, right, and you feel like, hey, I don't need a VA, I want you to think about this. Even if you don't need a VA, your family or your kids need you to need a VA, right? And the reason I say that is, it's so many things a VA can do for you, even if it isn't in your business. One of the things I did heavily over the last 4 years was I used VAs to tutor my children, right? To help my children with homework, help my son write a book, right? VAs did all of that. Why? So it can help me free up my time, so I ain't got to spend hours and hours checking homework and doing all of that stuff. I can get a little bit of help with it, right? And even with you guys, even if you're not using a VA in your business, where can you use a VA to help you free up some time in your life, right? That way you could take that time and try to think about it, focus on the stuff that you're trying to build and the stuff that you're trying to do, right? So that's one of the things. And then I always got to be the business that the VA can help you with, right? It can be other stuff that your VA can definitely help you with. Tutoring. If you're in college right now, VAs can definitely help with those homework assignments. Right? My niece, she just started a business, and I help her hire 2 VAs. She's at North Carolina A&T, and she started a business where she actually helps students do their damn work, right? And write their papers to do their assignment. She does it, but she's also using 2 VAs to help them as well. She's only 17. Right?
Yeah, that's the girl, the smart one, right? That graduated early.
Yeah, she graduated. She was 16, graduated from high school, and then had a social degree at 16. Now she'll be graduating North Carolina A&T next year at 18 with a bachelor's degree. Yeah. But she used the VAs, right? One of the things I used the VA for, and it wasn't related to my business. They helped my son write his first book when he was 10 years old. He sold thousands of books. They are in all the schools in Atlanta. He got his own day in the city of Atlanta just from that book. And the VA helped write that book. Of course, he brought his ideas. He brought the stuff that school helped him teach. You know, the what it is, the characters, the place, whatever the stuff that teacher went about the book. He had all that stuff, but the VA helped him write out the book and took and scratched his ideas and stuff, right? So they got to just be right now. A business that your VAs help you in. How can your VA help? How can a VA help you free up time in life and business? The other thing I would say is think about the stuff that you're great at now, right? Think about the stuff that you're good at, the stuff that you know how to do really, really well. How can you take a VA and develop a business around that, right? Think about that as well. One of the things I had a friend do the other day. He works a 9 to 5. He don't have a business, but he's around so many entrepreneurs. He's going to workshops, he's networking, he's doing all of this stuff. And I'm like, bro, you got a VA right on that's helping you do graphic design for your own stuff. Why don't you take that VA and reach out to all those different business owners that you know and see if they need somebody to help do graphic design? And he started doing that, and he actually created a whole graphic design business without even trying to, just because he had a VA that was helping him do graphic design for his album covers. Right? So there's so many ideas and so many things that you can take a VA, take your skill set, take what you're good at, take what you got a passion around, and just create a business with it.
Yep.
Like we ain't got to think too deep, right? It ain't that hard, right? Especially when you got coaches in the inner circle, especially. But yeah.
Man, you know what? I just figured out something, bro. Let me see something. If it's available, I gotta buy it first. Hold on. Okay, I just bought something. Who want to see me and Ken start a business online right now? They think I'm playing too, Ken. I think they really think I'm playing. Let's bring something to life in front of people. Because I think when people see it in real time, let me buy the domain first before I tell y'all what we're gonna do. All right, 1 year. I'm gonna start it out with 1 year first. All right, continue the cart. Let me check out. One thing I don't do is play by these domains, player. All right, full protection. Let me go ahead and pay this. Oh man, you know what's crazy? So I got my contacts today. So I'm trying this thing. This is the first time I'm without glasses, right? So I'm trying to figure this thing out. It's crazy to be able to look at the screen and read everything. And it's like, because people's like, bro, you know, something missing, something don't look right. And yeah, so I'm trying these contacts out. Definitely not color contacts, right? Let me see.
You got some blue ones over here now, so don't act like that.
You got some blue contact? You wearing the baby blue one?
You got some blue contact.
Run around telling everybody, I'm the dark skinned Shamar Moore. Not Shamar, what's that dude's name? That light skinned dude, the blue eye. Hey, what's the dude's name, man? You know who I'm talking about. Somebody know who I'm talking about. Hey, why? They said Gary. Michael Ealy. There you go. Michael Ealy. They say you were running around telling everybody, Michael Ealy, my cousin. Okay, I bought it. So this is the company we about to start. And so we got a company that we just launched tonight. I got the domain, mystudybuddy.io. We're gonna start a tutoring company. But the way that we're gonna do it though is we're gonna design it to where how they got this inner circle live calls. So we're gonna find somebody teaching each subject that's gonna go live and do calls at certain times so they can attend class and study. And they're gonna be doing like Q&A sessions with the people and then and we're gonna call it My Study Buddy. And we're gonna offer it to households for $29 a month for tutoring. And then we're gonna bring tutors in for one-on-one accountability sessions. And we're gonna charge $299 a month and in that $299 a month, no, $199 a month, we're actually gonna give to $199 a month. And what happens is 3 days a week, they get a 1 hour one-on-one session, 2 days a week for $199 a month, and then 3 days for $249 a month. And what we'll do with that, or $299 or something like that. We'll figure the prices out. And then that way, if they did the $249 a month, it'll cover all the sessions they got. The same way we do with this inner circle, we're gonna have people at different levels teaching at different times, and they'll be able to log in and get the recordings of the sessions as well. And the parents will be able to get on. So therefore, if they got like Infinite Campus and things like that, they'll get a one-on-one accountability program as well. So that when they kid get in, if they missing work, they already have their work laid out for them, and then they'll have the work that they're supposed to do and then keep a tracker with them. That way that they can hire the accountability. So we about to launch that business. I'm not gonna let you down. I'm not gonna let you run from it. And but we're gonna launch that. So y'all, what y'all think about that business? What y'all think about My Study Buddy? Because I think everybody needs a study buddy.
Yeah. Man, I promise you, man. One of the things, once you learn how to hire VAs, one of the most difficult things to do is not start a new business. Because you got the team, you got the VAs that can just about do anything, and any idea I think of, I can create a business around it with the right team. Man, what just happened? Okay.
No, I wasn't playing. I'm not playing, bro. We bought it. Would it be for children or adults? So the adults got to pay for it for the children, but your kids will get a login, right? Your kids will get a login. So the thing is really for families. Like I said, at 19 or that $29 a month, you'll have access just like this. But the reason why it can be cheaper than what the inner circle people are paying is because, and a lot of these are going to be college degree scientists, mathematicians, and things like that, English literature majors and things like that. They'll be VAs, but the good thing about it is, like, I was looking at DJ Graves when he didn't have his tutor and when he didn't have his accountability buddy there, to where now when he comes home, what I love about it is Kayla have a whole breakdown of everything DJ missing. So he come home grinning. She said, boy, why are you missing them assignments? So now as a parent, you don't have to be sitting there running and logging in assignments and seeing what they missing when it all be laid out. And I was looking at that because now he don't want to walk in and have missing assignments. So Kayla's deal is she like buying him shoes, where every month that he goes through and he has 0 missing assignments and he keeps over an A in every class, he get a pair of shoes. So that's, something, because it saved her the time of having to log in and do the work. And his grades, like I said, he got A's now, where he was borderline about to get kicked off the team in middle school from his grades. So I think when you look at that, having that accountability tutor, most people just got tutors who come in and help them sound out stuff or do math, but they don't really have accountability buddies there as far as coming to, studying with them and making sure that they up to date on their assignments. So it's basically like getting a kid a personal assistant.
Yep.
So yeah, it's definitely K through 12, definitely K through 12. And I think that's a dope concept. We're gonna try to launch it. I ain't gonna say it's gonna start out perfect, but I can actually see where it can turn into a pretty good 6-figure business though. I can see a high six-figure profit in the business. That, man, and the more profit, the more technology you can start adding to it.
What date you want to put on it?
Deadline.
Yeah,
Oh, you know all these projects I got. So let's.
Sister Dave. Oh, before the school year.
That's not on here, right? Hey Rose, put these notes down for Vanessa to get with web dev, get with the web dev team and see if they can create a website mock-up. So if we can get that website mock-up done by June 1st, yeah, I'll give us a July 1st. We'll probably take like 10 test clients out of the inner circle.
Let's do it.
Okay, sir.
All right, that's the game plan. So yeah, so Vanessa get on it. Web development.
I'll let her know, sir.
All right, appreciate it. So Talea, yeah, you got the web development business in the box. So you got a web dev team now. We actually got our walk through Monday on that during Memorial Day. Since the staff and everybody, I won't have calls and all that. We got to walk through with that. Never mind. We'll talk about that when we talk about that. But yeah, so 6-year-olds, they tutoring. Queenie was tutoring like 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds, 18, 17-year-olds. Like it was crazy. So I love the concept. But the reason I did that in real time is to kind of show you the power if you have VAs, like Ken said. An idea is a business now. And that's why I said the body concept, right? To where the body concept. So yeah, so if you log into your Inner Circle portal, a couple people asked about, all right, just inbox me, Toy, and I don't want to do that on this call. But yeah, inbox me, Toy, on Facebook. I think I said it right. Inbox me on Facebook. Or just shoot me a text, 404-999-3828 for that question. Because I don't want to put that in Ken's call. So Ken, now give me a horror story, man. You know, we talk about the good stuff. Give me a horror story and how you overcame it.
Let me see. I got just a couple of them. I would say, well, let me say this, right? And I wouldn't even say, let me start here with a few mistakes that I made. And I wouldn't even say mistakes. I'll say hard lessons learned, right? In my company, we built a culture up to where I tried to build a culture up to where everybody was excited, happy to come to work, and basically love the company, right? And one of the things I didn't understand was that no matter how much I love the business, no matter how much I put into the business, no matter how much they love the business, it was still a job to them, right? It was a job to them, and it was my business. And I expected everybody to love their job just as much as I love my business, just as much as I love my business, right? So one, I had to identify, like, at the end of the day, I had to identify at the end of the day, your VAs and my team members, it's just a job to them, right? And it's a business to me. So I used to put all my time, all my effort, and I expected them to,
love it, have a vision like it was their vision, or yeah,
like it was their vision. So that's one. The other thing I did was, one of the other horror stories I had was, I feel like I scaled my business way too fast. I know that seemed crazy, right? And to the point to where I wasn't even working in my business that much, only a few hours a week. I didn't have to, because I had my whole team running the business a day in, a day out, doing every single thing in the business for me, right? And I depended on them and I leaned on them to run everything for me, right? To the point to where I backed away and I forgot how certain things ran in my own company, because I was so used to everybody else running it for me while I'm out enjoying life, right? And I had the main person that was responsible for everything walk away, leave, right? And I was stuck trying to figure out how to do certain shit in my own business, right? Because I left everything in the hands of everybody else instead of continuing to drive the bus myself, you know what I'm saying? as involved in the business, right? So I grew the business to a point to where I can walk away and don't have to do anything and it still runs on its own, right? Um, that was the mistake that I made, right? Not that was the mistake that I made, putting everything in the hands of somebody else because I could at the time, right? That was one. Another mistake is another mistake was I would bring people in, VAs in, and I would give them positions and roles based on where I was, where my business is at today versus where I see my business at in 3-4 years from now, right? I brought one person in. She was working for me for 2 years. I made her the CEO, I mean the COO of the company, right? Based on where we was at right then. But then understand that she didn't have that I didn't hire her for where I saw my business at 5 years from now or 10 years from now, right? And she couldn't grow it to that level. She only can grow it to where it was at, right? Where it was at the moment. So that's a mistake I made, hiring people and giving them roles and positions.
Do you think you overcompensated position wise? Because that's what it sounds like. You gave them positions based on loyalty versus
exactly
qualification.
Yep. So that's a mistake that I made.
So I did that too, and there's really no way to combat that. Well, you know what my coach told me? Growth don't come based on who you hire. Growth comes based on no, failure doesn't come based on who you hire. It's based on who you fail to get rid of.
Yep.
Who you fail to and identifying talent is something that, you know, because there's so much. Like, you know, when we start out, we think we're gonna work our way into the millions, right?
Yep.
But like I keep telling people, you got to become a talent scout and you got to become a trainer. If you can do those two things, you can build a 8 or 9 figure business. Because when you identify, because remember, I got Ashley from freaking Office Depot. Yep. You know, and I was telling the people at the workshop that story about how I stole it from Office Depot. But look at all the people. You watch Ashley come in as a salesperson all the way up to VP. And, you know, just celebrated what, being would be, what, 6 years now? But the crazy thing is when you look back to 2017, you know, she was at Office Depot trying to get a supervisor job and they was overlooking her talent. And so what was happening is you had a place that was overlooking her talent who really needed her skill set, allowed somebody to come in and show her, you know, the difference. But what I was doing though is I was promoting people that was there before her because they was there longer based on loyalty. And when you got two things that happen, when it's a job to them and it's a job to everybody, right? But when their performance is based on how much money they making, I threw little exercises in there to be able to catch that, right? And as long as, and one of the things that I do, and this is the difference between business owner's mindset and the employee mindset, because people gonna argue with you about wages and things like that, right? But if I ask somebody to fill in for somebody and do a job, you're working the same 40 hours. But you have some people that say, well, I'm doing my job and your job. No, you're getting paid to be here for 40 hours. Rather you do this job or that job on the 40 hours, it's basically up to your job description, right? And so then I identify, because one of the things, the first time, and I didn't do it first, I used to get asked the question, well, if I have to do that, am I getting paid more? And I used to try to brush that off and come up and try to find an answer. But like right now, the moment that I ask you to do any other work, because not subconsciously, what I'm really trying to do is train you in that position to see if you actually can do the job before I give you the job. Yep. But now if I pay you more to do the job and then you do it because you got paid more, you still attached to the money and not the culture at that point. And see, a lot of people disagree with that, but they're the same ones that come and say, hey, coach, everything that fell apart. So the moment that they come in and I ask them to train, to, you know, but I'm paying you on the clock to train. I'm not asking you to train after work. I'm asking you to train during your 40 hours. And a lot of people, so if somebody walk away and I say, hey, I really know you ain't working but 20 hours a week. Because so one of the things that I do is when they have that behavior, I don't just be like, hey, you fired. What I do is I go back to the thing. And that was one of the things that we got that y'all had started doing first. I go back to that manual of, hey, send me your daily report. And then now in that daily report, we start putting job tasks, just like an oil change for a person at at freaking Chevrolet is going to be slotted for, hey, that's 1 hour of labor, right? So now what I started doing is start identifying like, hey, you're doing 20 hours worth of work a week. So not only do I not need you to cross train in this job, I'm moving you part-time for your job. And and that way you already know what happens when you're moving to part-time. But this is the ugly side of entrepreneurship that you have to do. Remember, this is your business. Good hearts are good, right? My heart is as pure as they come. But you got to also realize this is a legacy that's going to take care of other people as well. And I can't let somebody come and actually ruin that. So it's not based on who you fail to hire, it's based on who you fail to get rid of once you identify that they don't fit in the culture. And what starts to happen is you start promoting people to keep them happy. You start giving them pay raises to keep them happy, but then they never come in or grow into the person that you really need them to be for the company. And then they're thinking that their value is based on how much money they make. But when I ask them to cross train, that's my way to identify the ones who are actually ready to come and build. Because Rose had a completely different job and she's taking this one with pride. You get what I'm saying? And so you can see the ones that's going to stick around. Ashley knows every single position in the company, so that when all of that went down with with Francis and all, when all of that went down with her and her with spouse and all that, trying to steal the documents and her standing for him, everybody knew how hard I went for Francis. It really tore me to pieces, right? And so that when he tried to steal everything, we already had everything backed up. But when it ended up leading her out the door to try to start a whole VA company, we had everything that we needed. Ashley was able to step into everything, right? And then good thing about it is now she's popping up asking people, hey, are y'all hiring right now? Do y'all have any spots? I don't have to worry about that. And I never badmouth, but the thing is it didn't hurt me because Ashley was able to come back and fill in. So that's when you got somebody who's valuable, cross-train them as much as possible, because I don't want to be the one trying to figure out how to do payroll. I ain't trying to be the one figuring out how to do the hiring and all of that when that was her job. But that's where the body process came in, because part of her daily assignment in leadership, everything that we implemented new within the company had to go up on a new implementation. So now that when we made that a part of the process, once you moved out, it became a if you can read, you can lead type thing. Vanessa came right in and did something, and it's like a hitch didn't go off. And then she had Ashley to be able to lean back on when we was running the operational side of stuff. So it's crazy, bro.
Man, that's one of the things I had to understand too. Like, man, you can't be afraid to let go. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, it's not personal.
Feeling, you got to let that person go sometimes. What I used to think about all the time, like, damn, I'm taking care, not only paying them and taking care of them, but they taking care of their family, their mama, their dad, their children off this income that I'm giving them. What happens when I take the income away from them, right? I used to be so worried about all the others staff in my company, and what I didn't realize was, if shit go bad, I ain't got no company, ain't nobody got no job and no money. You know what I'm saying?
That's if your mental health ain't right. And now, bro, you know me, that was me, right? And grinding and driving yourself up the wall to make sure everybody else paid, to make sure everybody else good, because you don't want to see them without. Even sometimes I remember plenty times, man, it was times where Attorney Taylor was like, bro, you can't pull from other companies. You can't pull money from the other companies you own to pay this company and then do payroll, because your company here didn't do services for that company. But a lot of the employees, they just saying, hey, bro, I ain't get paid. And so what started to happen is they never had to go without getting paid. But what started to happen when I couldn't do that, I realized, like, well, do I drown my mental health out? Right. And then now if I drown my mental health out, I'm in the hospital, I'm doing all this, nobody's good. So I'm not going to let the 3 weak people in the company stop 100 and something people from getting paid. You get what I'm saying? Because if I'm down and out, everybody's gone at that point, right? So one of the things that I had to do is I had to put stuff in place so that the leadership automatically identifies. So a lot of people don't even know, they get rated a 1 to 10 every week. Every single week, you get rated a 1 to 10. You stay below 5, 3 weeks in a row, you're on probation for 30 days. And then in that 30 days, if you don't go back above 8 for, for that next 30-day period consistently, then, you get suspended and you out the door. But that's the hard part, man. And I think that's a big disconnect that they don't talk about when we start talking about survivor's remorse. Naturally, coming up in an urban community, man, most of us really didn't come up. We came up kind of in poverty, right? So our thing is we always wanted to treat people how we wanted to be treated. We always wanted, we always wanted them to bypass the struggle or the worry and go ahead and take care of them. And I think that's one of the hardest parts of being an African-American entrepreneur, because we got not only survivor's remorse, but we also get depression too, because once we create some kind of success, we become inspiration to people who haven't. So now it becomes one of those things where I'm scared to fail now. It becomes where you literally can build a depression at the fear of failure. And you might not even be failing. It's just the fear of failing, right? It's one of those, dang, I got to watch what I say because I can get canceled. It ain't me getting canceled. It's 275 employees and their families getting canceled. And the thing is that's where it's different. So we want everybody to get as many vacation days. We want life to be good for them. And it never hits us. Walmart, before they came with this strike system, I'm pretty sure they was pretty lenient too, right? But guess what happened? People start abusing the leniency there, right? And then now you had to add rules. They had to add and they had to buckle down. But one of the things where I learned from my coach, though, is the people who started with you ain't going to be the people who take you to the next level, right? Because everything is about ones and threes, right? Your first 100,000, then you is normally following up with chasing that 300,000. That 300,000 goes to the chase of 1 million, and then that chase of 3 million, 10 million, 30 million, 100 million. And the law of ones and threes when it comes to business is so serious, because the people with you at that $1 million business might not be there at that $3 million business. That $3 million business that had a bunch of managers now needs to turn into a $10 million business where you need directors. But guess what? Those managers might not be ready to be directors. And that's where a lot of people try to take managers into directors to go from 3 to 10 million. And that's where they fail at. I'm talking high level. I'm like, they like, bro, I just need a VA. You going, I'm just having the conversation I be having with my coach though. But, all of this pretty much happens with VAs though. It happens with, if you can create an idea or a thought, you can build it out, organize it, document it, delegate it to a VA, walk away, build something else. Use the time snowball effect, where if I'm working 40 hours and I need to turn 7 hours over first, boom, you freed up 7 hours. You bodied it out. Then you freed up 10 more hours. That's 17 hours. Reinvest that 17 hours back into growth. And, we just want to make sure that people are doing that. But y'all definitely need a VA. This ain't even no sales pitch. This is one of those things where these inner circle calls, we would have never been able to do them daily if we wouldn't have inserted the VAs in this part. We pulled them from a completely different business to handle this on a day-to-day.
Yeah. Definitely ain't selling that. Definitely gave y'all the blueprint to actually going to get your own VA, right? That's everything that you need. Like I said, I've been doing this 5 years, right? I done helped close to 60 people start their own agency, including
6 years, bro.
6 years. Yeah. 6 years.
It's 2023.
Yeah, you're right. So it was 17. Including helping Brittany. I think Brittany was one of my first mentees when I first started coaching, right? So you see how she talked all the time about how she was able to hire her first VA, hire a second VA, then take those VAs and create multiple businesses, multiple six-figure businesses, right? And then including her own agency as well, right? So hire, like this, that's the most important thing you can do is just hire help, hire people to come in and do the shit that you don't know how to do.
And when you got VAs too, man, like, probably 75% of every dime I make has nothing to do with something with my name on it. Like, it's from businesses that you would never, ever, ever in your life know that I got a part of, right? And 90% of the operation that goes into those business comes from me getting 20, 30% of the company, right? It's equity. And you could get so creative with VAs because You got people running around saying, let me coach you for $100. That's cool. This is to literally provide jobs, right? And this is to literally, everybody can't like afford, high level coaching. So it's kind of like you still get this level of access. We have these conversations because what I wanted to do, and I get back to what I wanted to do is make sure that the people who say, man, it's like a foreign language. We said that the inner circle, and that's why when people be quitting and, hey, coach, I couldn't do the assignments, and I still don't think they really understand what the inner circle is about. It's to start a conversation, and then you will continuously see a pattern. Everything is about the patterns that you will see from the successful people that come in, speaks a certain language, and they understand a certain language. When we talk consultative equity, and I'm like, hey, Ken, man, boom, opportunity there. We don't have to elaborate on it. You go, boom, I'm there. You get what I'm saying? So now the whole goal is in a circle is to be able to identify the conversation, identify the language, learn the language, and talk the language. And the more you start to talk a language, the more you're going to see how bad of the language you used to speak. Like I used to speak real bad. I guess they call it a Ebonics from the hood. Hey, what up, shawty? You know what I'm saying? Hey, but the crazy thing is like now I can have a really good conversation where I enunciate every word, right? And I can go across the board and talk to everybody. I can code switch, I can do all of that, but that doesn't happen without being in the environment, right? So that's what the inner circle is about. But about at least 3/4 of every dime I make comes in from, or every piece of wealth that I build comes in from not just me. It comes in from other people who are actually leaders, other people who are doing. So when you got VAs in place, you can start consulting for equity instead of saying, hey, I got this coaching program or that coaching program or this coaching program. Because all I do with most of my coaching clients is to try to make them the expert in a certain field so they can carve out equity other places. Because think about if you got VAs and you starting a what's her name do? Let me see if she's on here. She's not, then I'll go somewhere else.
Tell them about the vegan restaurant play that I did.
Oh, bro, you killed it because they wasn't even opening every day. And you literally took over and you create, and they wasn't open every day because they didn't have personnel. They couldn't answer the phone calls. They couldn't do all of that. And you went out and carved out a percentage of a restaurant. And now it's actually a really hot restaurant right now. And the thing is, they was open at 3 days? They wasn't the whole day or something?
No, they was open 3 days a week.
3 days a week, yeah.
They were just open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But because they couldn't get people in the doors, so on the other days, they ain't have the support, none of that stuff.
Marketing, they didn't even have a real website. They didn't have, man, it was.
When we talked about the money and what you need, the whole thing was I need money for marketing. I need money to create a website. I need money to bring somebody to answer the phone. I'm like, what? You gonna spend money? I got a solution for
and most people, I need money for marketing. So if I can solve your marketing problem, so you needed $100,000 loan for marketing, right? What are you trying to use your marketing? I'm trying to use my marketing to get from here to here. So if I can stop you from spending $100,000 and I can get you this result, can I evaluate your business and carve out equity? And they like, oh yeah. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna help you get from here to here. And instead of giving you $100,000, all I got to do is boom, look at their sales, do a quick valuation on it, and say, okay, they worth this. Hey, give me 25% of the company, or you can even get creative and say, hey, if I help you make an extra $150,000 more than what you was making before me, can we go 50-50 on that? And 50% of the profit on top of what you're already doing, which means that now this is proof of what I can bring in, right? I'm not asking them for anything, I'm performing, but then you bring it in and guess what? The VA's answering the phone, the VA's doing the marketing, the VA's is posting the updates on the restaurant, the VA's is creating the CRM mailing list and all of that, texting people, giving them updates. Hey, we got a new menu item. Hey, we got a food truck here. We got this, we got that. And then you carve out equity in the company. I literally got 5% of a restaurant, bro, just from a website with online ordering. I created the whole online ordering, the back end where they can do, ordering and all of that, but they didn't have the $7,500 of that full system that was built, right? Did it cost me $7,500 to build it? No, it cost 2 VAs doing their work, one knocking out the automation side of it, one building the web development side, right? But by the time they got it, they didn't have the money. They didn't qualify for financing at that point. They gave me 5%. So the cool thing is now they're actually able to increase their revenue with the online ordering, with the marketing, with the CRM, knowing who their clients are. And then now instead of 7,500, I'm probably getting about 7,000 every year in profit. Now they're not going crazy with the profits, right? But I still get about maybe $6,000 to $8,000 a year versus a one-time pay thing from that, just from that. And it just hits the account every quarter. So you can get creative, man. You can get definitely creative. And, once you got the VAs though, and like I said, it ain't just the Philippines, developers in India, you got a lot of data entry people in South Africa. The average person in South Africa types about 52 words per minute in data entry. I mean, 72 words a minute in data entry. That's crazy. And when I'm looking at that, and when you need databasing and things like that on the tech side for the people who want to do database work, you just got to get creative though. Get creative in using your VAs. So what you want to leave them with, Ken?
Yeah, man. I'll leave y'all with this, right?
Yeah, man.
I'll leave y'all with this. Just remember this, right? Keep the main thing, right? We all, like I said before, we all in entrepreneurship for a few reasons. Freedom, our family, time to do what we need, time to do what we want to do, right? So just always remember that. Keep the main thing, even if you gotta go out and hire people to help you keep the main thing. Do what you gotta do. That's it.
Well, man, listen, go ahead, leave that review. Leave that review. Do y'all got the review link? I ain't see my girl Jamie ain't on here tonight. Jamie be on it. So go ahead and leave Ken some video reviews, right? If y'all want him to come back, Ken, how many video reviews you need before you come back?
How many people on here? Okay.
I think it fell off now. They trying to go into the bed.
Just let me get about 20 of them. That'll be perfect.
20 video reviews. You know what's funny? You're gonna have people saying, all right, well, I'll let 20 more people do it. Man, everybody gonna be like, I'm gonna let 20 more people do it.
Just let me get a couple of them.
I got an experiment with that though, because a lot of people, you got 20 people in an environment and everybody's thinking that the next person is gonna do it. And you start saying, we're gonna have a cookout. You got 20 people showing up to the cookout. That one person gonna be like, oh, the next person gonna do it. The other 19 got it. Everybody's gonna be like the other 19 got it, right? And let's say you're the only one showing up to the cookout with plates. Now all of a sudden you got the plates and nobody got food at the cookout. You see that? And then now everybody like, man, I thought you was gonna bring this. No, I thought y'all was gonna bring it. Nobody got nothing. That's what happens in certain environments, bro. And then you got environments where everybody brings something to the table. So imagine all 20 people bringing a dish, cups, plates, spoons, forks, and macaroni and cheese and everything you could think about, right? Now you got a full feast with meat, potatoes beside, and you got enough to give away, some to put away, some to eat. You in abundance at that point. But what's crazy is I'm gonna see how many video reviews you got, and I'm gonna screenshot the amount of people we got, or at least a text review, or audio review. It don't have. I mean, you can at least say something, because these reviews do help. We could take your picture, we could take the words, and we can actually run the audio back and put a video together with that, even if you don't want to do the actual video. Y'all might be in a bonnet, we know, but it's cool. But we're gonna jump off here because, bro, we got a bill. We got some stuff to knock out with this my study buddy. So we'll have this mapped out tonight because Elle says she's about to call us too. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for coming out. God bless y'all. Good night, and we'll holler at y'all.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.